Good morning, everyone. It is September 11th, 2018. Eric. One of the problems with giving people authority over the rest of the people is that they too are human, these people given authority, and they have skeletons just like anybody else. They have fetishes, they have desires, and as such, they give into these things quite often. And there is an article on DCClothesline.com about a serial rapist cop or corrections officer who raped dozens of men while they're in prison using his position of authority. Now, what's even worse about this is the fact that this particular corrections officer had HIV or has HIV. So he has spent the last 10 years raping men in this prison he was a officer at, giving them HIV. And look, no, not everyone's going to abuse their power. At least not in such a grotesque way. They may favor some inmates over another. They might give certain inmates cigarettes or drugs or anything like that. But when you're talking about raping, that's a whole nother level of sick. Okay? So this happened in Dodge County, Wisconsin. The guard was 34-year-old Alex Waltz, and he was found guilty of sexually assaulting 3 inmates on multiple occasions where he worked at the Fox Lake Correctional Institution. And of course, I already told you, he has HIV. DNA evidence confirmed the accusation against Waltz, including samples taken from inmates' underwear. He was found guilty of 5 counts of second-degree sexual assault by correctional staff. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison, which he should have been hung, honestly. He should have been hung. And hopefully the inmates in the prison he ends up in takes care of that for the rest of us. Because we don't want an individual, whether he ends up getting out in 35 years or 17, we don't want individuals like this on the loose. We want them dead. But Dodge County Assistant District Attorney James Semp called Waltz a serial rapist. Quote, "The corrosive nature of the disparity in the power dynamic is a factor in what makes this offense so serious. The defendant can fairly be classified as a serial rapist." And that the prosecutor asked for the court to give him a 120-year sentence so he would never be let out of prison. Somehow I don't think he's going to make it out of prison because all the inmates in the next facility, the facility he goes to, are going to know who he is. And maybe actual justice will be served. Now, this isn't just a problem in correctional officers. This is a problem in any position that offers the individual power over the public. While working at the correctional facility, Waltz would threaten inmates with punishments and offer rewards to coerce them into sexual acts. According to one of the victims who came forward, Waltz said that he had been doing this with different inmates for nearly 10 years. One of the victims estimated that he had over 50 sexual encounters with Waltz, or Waltz, however you say his fucking name. Quote, when you rape somebody, it doesn't matter that you act like you're remorseful in the courtroom. It doesn't matter that you were only caught once. When you rape someone, you do not get to pretend that you made a mistake. You knew that I was not consenting. But there's been a study done last year. A study exposed the startling fact that police officers are arrested about 1,000 times a year, or roughly 3 officers charged every day. Many of these arrests are over unspeakable sex crimes. Quote, police crimes are not uncommon, the study's lead researcher, Philip M. Stinson, concluded. Our data directly contradicts some of the prevailing assumptions that the proposition that only a small group of rotten apples perpetrate the vast majority of police crimes. Although nearly 60% of the crimes occurred when the officer was technically off duty, he wrote, a significant portion of these so-called off-duty crimes are also lies within the context of police work and the perpetrator's role as police officers, including instances where off-duty officers flashed a badge, an official weapon, or otherwise used their power, authority, and the respect afforded to them as means to commit crimes. And this is exactly why we should not have law enforcement. We should be the law enforcement, the people. If we see something, we should stop it. But because people are so gullible and stupid, and I don't totally hate people. Some of them are, some people are great. The human species is indeed special, but we've lost our way. We have. When we allow things like this to happen, we have lost our way. And worse than that is we call these motherfuckers heroes. According to a report from Washington Post, in cases involving allegations of sexual abuse, 72% of officers were fired, and more than 80% resulted in convictions, the study found. There were 422 reported cases of forcible and statutory rape, 352 cases of forcible fondling, and 94 sodomy cases over the 7 years of the study, which Stinson called larger than expected based on the existing research. The data search turned up 174 examples of male officers arrested in cases of driving while female, in which women drivers were harassed or assaulted. About 82% of those cases ended in convictions. Again, this is the problem right here with giving one group of individuals authority over the rest of the people in a particular country. They will almost always abuse their positions one way or the other. They may not be as heinous as this particular instance, but nonetheless, one way or the other, these people will always abuse their positions of authority. Whether it be this asshole raping God knows how many men in the correctional facility, all the way down to the cop that fixes a ticket for a relative. So, you know what should be done with these people. You know. Hope everyone has a great day. Kill the state before the state kills you.